Thank you for joining us for the Creative Aging Initiative Fiscal Year 26 SAGE Overview. My name is Robert Warshinsky. I'm the Director of Operations and Technical Assistance with the New Jersey State Council on the Arts. My pronouns are he, him. I have short blonde hair and a short blonde beard. I'm currently wearing glasses and wearing a dark blue polo. The room that I am in contains green walls behind me, a little bit of art, as well as a bookshelf. For the purposes of staying focused on the SAGE elements, I am going to be turning off my camera for the duration of this webinar. Let's begin the SAGE overview. To access SAGE and submit the Creative Aging Initiative application, your organization or county or city must register in the SAGE system. SAGE stands for the System of Administering Grants Electronically, SAGE, and it is the state of New Jersey's grants management system. This system does require authorization for access. We will review that a number of times. The New Jersey State Council on the Arts uses Blue Sage, which can be accessed at www.sage.nj.org. www.sage.nj.gov. It's important to note that there is also a green SAGE and a SAGE that is specifically built for the counties. In order to access this grant, you must use the Arts Council's Blue SAGE for the Department of State. If you do not have a username and password, you will want to select the new user link to request access to the site. We will take a closer look at that in just a moment. If you need assistance with registering or assistance with your grant inside of SAGE, please contact me directly at robert.warshinsky@sos.nj.gov or by phone at 609-633-1049. Again, it is important to note that access and approval of registration is not automatic. It can take up to 48 hours to approve and validate your organization's registration for the system. Therefore, it's also important to note to please do not wait to create your user account. Late applications will not be accepted, and assistance will happen for applicants in order of request. Moving to the next slide, we're going to look at some SAGE system requirements. For SAGE, the operating system for the Department of State was designed to work with the two most common computer operating systems, Windows and Macintosh. Please note that you should not use SAGE on an iPad or your phone. The system is a cloud-based system, but it is a little tricky and there are a lot of buttons to click. So an iPad and an iPhone is not ideal. In order to use SAGE, as we just noted, it's a cloud-based system, so you will have to have access to the internet. This web browser-based system is best used on Google Chrome. It is available inside of other web browsers, but again, Google Chrome is the recommended browser. Lastly, you will also need the Adobe Acrobat Reader if you want to make a PDF of your application after you have submitted it, or any of the pages within your application. Now let's take a look at the SAGE system homepage. Again, the New Jersey State Council on the Arts uses Blue Sage. In front of you, you have the initial login page. If you are a new user, you will click on New User in the upper right-hand cornered box. If you have forgotten your username or password and you already have a login, you will click Forgot Username/Password. Again, there are multiple versions of SAGE, so be sure that you are logging into the page that looks like this for Blue Sage. If you already have a login, you can simply log in using your username and password and skip this initial registration element of this webinar. In front of us, we now have the initial registration page. Again, this is for individuals that have selected new user from the homepage. The most important note, and we are going to take a closer look at all of these elements, but the most important note for the moment is that you select Department of State Council on the Arts in the second dropdown. If you do not select Department of State Council on the Arts in this dropdown and you are a new user, we will not have access to see your user request. Moving forward, we're going to take a little bit of a closer look at each of these fields. Registration for new users must include your organization's FEIN, your Federal Employer Identification Number. This is the primary element for your organization's user inside of Sage. Again, you will select the Department of State, Council on the Arts as your granting agency. You will then complete the form in its entirety. Each of the fields listed do have a red asterisk, which is noted as a required field. Instructions are available at the top of the page. Please note that the username field must consist of only letters and numbers, and the password field must consist of only letters and numbers and must be at least 7 characters. No special characters are allowed for the username or the password. To confirm your to confirm your password, you must have both the password in the password field and it must match the confirm password element. Please create an account for each person at your organization who will need access to your documents in your Sage. If your organization and title are not included in your validation, this will delay your approval process. Please select the Save button at the top of the page in order to save this data. Once you create a user account and gain access to the system, you will receive a confirmation email, which will come to you directly from the Sage system. You will then never have to request access again. Once you have saved your contact information, your account must be approved by a Department of State administrator before you can actually access the system. Again, it is important to note that registration is not automatic and can take up to 48 hours. If you attempt to log into the system prior to getting approval, you will receive an error message. Lastly, when your access has been granted, you will receive the email confirming that your validation is complete, and you can then log into the system. Now let's take a look at the main menu. For those of you that already had a username and password, this is your main menu. For those of you that registered for a username or password, once your registration is complete, this will be your main menu. Inside of the main menu, there are 8 elements that are critical to the application for the Creative Aging Initiative Grant. The first is your Documents tab. Second is your training materials. Third is your organization's profile. Inside of your organization's profile is the information that you registered with in your initial registration. Number 4 is your profile. Each user for Sage for the organization has their own profile. If there are elements that need to change inside of your profile and not the organization's profile, you will use number 4. There's also a logout button listed as number 5. View available opportunities, which we're going to go back to in a moment. That is number 6. Number 7 is My Inbox, where you can receive messages and also you will be able to see an automatic message from Sage when your application has been submitted. And number 8 is your tasks. Going back to number 6, view available opportunities. This is where you will go to initiate the grant application. You will select the button that says view opportunities, and then you can search for the New Jersey State Council on the Arts Creative Aging Initiative Grant for fiscal year 26. Once you have started that grant, you return back to your homepage, and that grant will now live inside of number 8, quote unquote, my tasks. To enter the grant documents, you will then select the document number that is listed in the my tasks field. Here are some items to edit before you begin your application. Click on your profile. As noted earlier, this is your profile. If there are elements inside of your profile that need to be updated, you will go into that page directly and make adjustments. Let's take a closer look at the profile information. The email address that is listed in your profile should be the main email for your communication with the New Jersey State Council of the Arts. Again, each organization has their own organization profile, and within that organization is the users. Some additional items to edit: your organization profile. Again, you can click on the organization link at the top bar, and that will bring you further into the page. That page, you will have the opportunity to review the information that you initially put into your registration request, or if you are an existing organization, your organization information will already be in this page. As you can see, there are some grayed out fields. And again, if you need technical assistance from the Arts Council staff, you can reach out to us directly, and we will assist you in order of request. To make additional edits and make sure that everything is correct in your organization page, you will then click on the organization details for the additional profile information. There is additional information collected from the organization detail page that will automatically populate inside of your grant. Please, thank you for catching up. Additional profile information noted. You want to use the first and second pages listed, which are New Jersey State Council on the Arts board chart. And we're going to go back to that in a moment. But first, you want to look at the State Arts Council additional profile information. This page is required by the Department of State. Each of the elements inside of Sage is a hyperlink. So you just click directly on it, which is why it has that underline, and that will bring you further into that page. Taking a look at the additional profile information, make sure that you click the Save button at the top of the page when you have completed all of your edits. If your organization is a registered charity, please enter your charity number. Fill out the remainder of the page, and fill out the board president and chairman information. It's important to complete all of the information requested on this form, including the information inside of the blue box. Once again, when you have completed all of these elements, click the Save button at the top of the page. You will then want to navigate back home to your home page. An additional item to edit would be your board chart. Again, you will navigate this by going to your organization and then your organization details, and this time selecting the first hyperlink. Do not leave this chart blank. You must include all of this information for your organization. There are instructions on the page on how to fill this out, and there is a Save button at the top of the page. It is critical that once you have filled out the grid in this page that you hit the Save button. If you navigate back home without hitting the Save button, the information will not be saved. Again, this information, as well as the aforementioned, will pre-populate inside of your grant application. So you want to complete this information before you start your application. Let's go back and look at the Sage inbox. If you click on Open Inbox, your new messages will appear, as well as options to retrieve your old messages. It is important to note that after you complete your application and submit your application, the Sage system will automatically send you, your program officer, and myself an email that indicates that your application has been submitted. Once the application is submitted, you will no longer have access to make any changes or adjustments to that application. Again, confirmation will come directly to your email and anyone else's email that is listed at your organization, and it will also appear in your inbox. We're now going to take a closer look at your Sage task list. Quote unquote, my task list items, they need your attention. There may be an application or a report that is in process, or even a payment voucher requiring a signature. This is essentially your to-do list. Again, once you have started the application from the View Available Opportunities page, you will then navigate back to My Tasks, select the document number of your Creative Aging Initiative grant, and that will bring you into the Forms menu of all of the pages that need to be filled out for your grant. If you need more details on Sage, please visit the State Arts Council's website. Select Grant Opportunities page, and even more detailed tutorials are available for navigating the Sage system. A few last things to note. You must be registered with the New Jersey Division of Revenue in order to apply to this grant. Applicants must be currently registered and not have lapsed in their registration. This is a requirement of the state of New Jersey, the Division of Revenue, as well as Treasury. If you do receive a grant award, you will need to have all of this up to date and stay current in order to receive your grant payments. A direct link to the online business registration certificate service can be found at the State Arts Council's website, again, under the Grant Opportunities section. In addition, to be eligible for this grant, you must have a New Jersey Division of Consumer Affairs. Applicants must be currently registered as a charitable organization. Unless you are a county or municipality, you must be a charitable organization with the Division of Consumer Affairs and the Office of Consumer Affairs. This is also known as a charity registration. Applicants with non-existent, incomplete, or expired charities registration will not be able to move to the next phase of the application review process. A direct link to the charities registration can be found on the Grant Opportunity section of the Arts Council's website. Thank you for joining us today. Our contact information is available on the screen and also available on the website of the New Jersey State Council on the Arts. Your program officer for content for this grant application is Samantha Clark. And again, I am Robert Wershinsky, the Director of Operations and Technical Assistance, and I'm available to assist you with Sage. Thank you.